Guilt is a feeling we have whenever we do something that goes against our value system. Big word here, do. Toxic shame says you are a mistake. Guilt says I made a mistake. Action and doing. See, in toxic shame, if you make a mistake, toxic shame says you're no good. In the world of guilt, if you make a mistake, you actually say, I did something that is not okay. Wrong. I harmed you. I harmed me. I did something that goes against what I want to be like, what I wish to do. And I need to be forgiven. Guilt is a feeling that we have whenever we do something that goes against the conscience of our value system within us. Okay? And whenever you do something, you're going to have the experience of guilt. And guilt is going to take you to healthy shame. The dependency and neediness. Guilt brings us to healthy shame. I need to be forgiven so that I can get back right or true with you in fellowship and how I'm made to live with you. And that forgiveness that guilt gives us is freedom. Guilt, admitting what I've done wrong, brings me to freedom and forgiveness. And forgiveness is coming back into fellowship with myself, others, and God. Coming back into relationship with God in a place where we're intimate. Now, let's go back to healthy shame for a minute. You see that healthy shame is the recognition of being in need. Healthy shame is also the consciousness that you and I are made the same. Do y'all get that? If I cry, I know what tears are, I know what sadness is, I know what hurt is, and if I see you cry, I'm looking at you from the standpoint of, are you sad? I can relate to this because I know this in my own experience. I'm not dissociated from it. I'm not in denial about it. I know what sadness is. I know what hurt is. I know what loneliness is. I know what anger is. I know what fear is. So when I hear you express it or talk about it, people who have healthy shame have consciousness of being human. And that consciousness of being human recognizes a conscience within us. Conscience and sensitivity to being human allows me to have empathy. Now, 1, 2, 3. Consciousness, conscience, empathy, and empathy is going to lead to conscience. This is a little complex, but stay with me. If I hit you in the ribs really hard and you feel it, okay, then you're going to probably be hurt or mad or scared or lonely or sad. And then when you show me that sadness, hurt, whatever, or not, if I actually have a thought that says, if somebody had done that to me, I would have felt hurt and sad and lonely and mad. Then all of a sudden I'm conscious of a sensitivity within me of knowing what that's like. And all of a sudden I start to feel what? Guilt. Beautiful. I start to say, you know what? Part of me's glad I hit him in the ribs. But part of me's just, I wish I hadn't done that. I feel guilty. So that empathy of healthy shame, I'm human, they're just like me. If somebody had done that to me, I'd be really hurt. And I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Before I know it, I'm going, look, I hit you in the ribs, and I have to even admit part of me is glad I did it. And I'm sorry even about that. I wish I hadn't done it. Because if somebody had done it to me, I'd have a real problem. Will you forgive me? So healthy shame is the sensitivity to recognizing ourselves and everyone else. Empathy. knowing what it's like to be human. And ministry is driven by empathy. True ministry is driven by empathy. I was once where you are. Someone did for me what I wish to do for you. I can remember what it's like. If you don't know pain, if you don't know neediness, you're not fit for ministry. Because your perfection is not what people are looking for. Okay? So, I mean, I would love perfect too, but I would love to go to a place where I don't have to have a need again, but that's not what's going to happen. Okay. So guilt is a feeling we have whenever we do something that goes against our value system. It's about action and plans that we need to confess. Confession means to take ownership of what's happening inside of me so I can stay in relationship, to agree that I'm human and I'm in need. Okay. And the value system is yours. Now, it can be integrated from God, but it's yours. You own it in your heart. It's not something you should do. It's an expression of who you really are. Your value system is who you really are. Okay. And guilt, impaired guilt, is toxic shame. I try to make up for what I did instead of telling the truth about what I did. I try to become somebody perfect instead of admitting I never will be and I'm always in need of mercy. The need of forgiveness is a need of mercy. I can't ever ultimately make up for what I did. So toxic shame says you should do something to make everything that's happened go away. But I can't. So toxic shame becomes, I've got to get away from me, and I start behaving shamelessly. People who run away from admission of guilt become shameless. Shameless means I don't even have toxic shame. It means I am unlike everybody else, and you're going to feel shame. I'm not going to. So the shameless person is defended against ever having to do anything to make themselves human. It's the only solution they can come up with to feeling toxic shame.